guys, what's up? It's Kaya. In today's video, we'll be going over episode 15 of All American After Hours. Let's get into it. I like that a lot of the fun parts from this week's episode, it kind of took away from the issues for this week's episode, and I like that feel because it didn't feel too doom and gloom, you know? Like, it just felt good to have an episode where we got to see more of the fun side of like Mama Grace's character, even Mama Laura's, and Billy and D'Angelo this episode. This was so good. I loved it. We start out with Spencer and Frostal basically still going at it, and Billy's giving them an ultimatum that they have to get together tonight and work through their issues or else they won't be able to play. So, I don't know. You see, Frostal's annoying. Little Franklin, he be doing too much. I don't know. I be giving Frostal a lot of, you know, oh my goodness, he's annoying, things like that. But learning a little bit more about Frostal's background, you know, him saying later on that he has to help support his mom and his sister. The way he looks at Spencer is, you got the opportunity to move out of the city and go to Beverly. You got to live with this family who had it all, it seemed, and go to this really nice school, play with their team. You guys made it to states, you won and everything, but you won with that team. You know, he a little salty because of all that was happening with Spencer, and now Spencer is coming back to where they are, and he's looking at it as, who are we? Charity to you at this point? What's the purpose of you being here? I know you're more dedicated to Beverly and more loyal to Beverly. That's how Frostal sees him as. But, you know, this is also where Spencer was born and raised, and this is his community as well. So I do like, I can appreciate how their relationship developed over the course of this episode, and for them to actually talk through things and to work together as teammates. So that was nice to see, y'all. We have Liv girl, who's basically trying to get everyone out of the house because, y'all, her and Layla are about to have one of their nights, their bestie nights. And I was like, you know, you could see over the last few weeks how they've been slowly building up to trying to work on their friendship and to get back to how they used to be, or even stronger than how they used to be, and to really be there for each other as best friends. So she's trying to get everyone out of the house for tonight, and she actually seems nervous and excited at the same time because it is a big deal. You know, we saw how they had that huge explosion well, not a few weeks, but weeks back between her and Layla when her and Spencer's interaction came out to Layla. And, you know, they've had a few encounters since then, but it hasn't really been a time where they delved into what those issues were, or, you know, really had to be around each other as friends in a friend setting. You know, the few times that they've been around each other since then have been them trying to help each other out or just trying to be there for one another through like a difficult time, since Liv had her little relapse and everything. So it's great to see that they're actually trying now to work on their friendship, because I feel like they're in a great place to work on this friendship. I feel like Liv she's working through her issues, and so is Layla. The only thing that gets me with Layla is this Carrie girl who's still around. So just knowing that Carrie is in the picture, I just had the initial feeling that it wasn't going to be going well, because who likes Carrie besides Layla at this point? No one. I know I don't, y'all. So Mama Grace hears from Mama Laura regarding, you know, let's go out, have a little girls' night, have a drink maybe, talk to some business stuff. But then we're back at the Baker household, right? Layla shows up. I knew Carrie was going to show up with her because she's her shadow. This girl is everywhere, and she's so annoying. And I already knew this night was going to take a turn for the worse because we don't like Carrie. It's also the interaction that Liv is having with Carrie up front. Priceless. Also, what got me is because Layla was saying, you know, her plans changed for the night, so I hope you don't mind. Girl, this isn't your house. It's not like Liv is coming to your house. And you know you're both still trying to work on your friendship and everything. You're not in a place where, you know, you used to be as friends. And the simple fact that you couldn't even text her or call her to just be like, hey, you know, Carrie is still with me? Is it cool if she comes over as well for our little girls' night tonight? She did none of that. She just popped up at Liv's house and was just like, hey, her plans got canceled. I hope it's okay. You wouldn't know if it's okay because you didn't even tell me up front, girl. I was like, Layla, we don't do that. You don't just show up to somebody's house, especially when she came empty-handed and Liv was the one providing the food and stuff. So now she got to feed both of you? I mean, she didn't mind feeding you. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind had you told her beforehand, girl. So usually seeing Billy and D'Angelo together, I'm just like, ugh. Because we know how D'Angelo can be towards Billy because he's still upset that he got punched in the face and everything and has to go to boarding school. But now, after, you know, the whole interaction with him and Mama Grace, where she told him, you and Billy need to work through this. You both experienced trauma in your lives, and this is something that happened years ago and something that you both can grow and learn from and come together at this point because it's been too long. So seeing them together in the office, I felt that this was going to be where their relationship took a turn for the better, especially when my man Billy pulled out the booze. I was like, I feel like I'm going to like D'Angelo a little bit more starting from this episode here, just because it seems like he's not as cold-hearted anymore. So, and we did see it, y'all. This is a good episode for D'Angelo because before, nah, he was getting me tight. I like the moment with Jordan and Asher back at Spencer's job and them basically wanting to hang around so that way they can play pool once Spencer closes up, because it seems like a little bromance that they had going on with each other. But then we had freaking Frosto come in and put a damper on the whole mood of everything because he has to hang out with Spencer and he doesn't want to hang out with Spencer. So Spencer's basically telling them that they'll have to take a rain check because he has to hang with this dude. But it was good to see all three of them, Jordan, Spencer, and Asher, basically in good spirits leading up to Frosto walking in and ruining the mood of everything. But it was nice to see them happy and just chill. Layla is so fooled, y'all. And she don't see it. So they're back at the house and they're getting ready for their little movie that they want to watch. Liv has already sat here and prepared the food. And y'all saw she made it earlier in the day. She was so excited. And then she comes over to them because they're getting ready to watch their movie. And when freaking Carrie, one, sat here spoiling the movie, but then on top of that, had the nerve to say something smart about the food. Hello, bougie self. Miss, you weren't even supposed to be here. But you came because of Layla. And then, so Liv gets upset a little bit. She's like, all right, it's whatever. You could pick the movie. You're the guest. Unwanted. And she goes to the kitchen, but it's Layla over here talking about, can you just give her a chance, please? She's going through a hard time as well. Because she told you she was going through a hard time? She don't know nothing about this girl. And we all know she lying because we saw her mama calling her the other week. This girl's telling you basically what she wants to tell you. And Layla is so desperate to just have someone. She's not trying to see anything outside of, oh my goodness, Carrie, we were in the same facility and we both got help and you need someone right now because you have nowhere else to go. I'm that friend for you. I can help you with that. That's all she sees. And she needs to see more because this girl, Carrie, Liv, she could tell straight off the bat, something's not right with y'all. The start of this girls' night though with Mama Grace and Mama Laura, and they're sitting back with their glasses of wine and everything up in the cafe, and then they spot Denise and they're just sitting back chilling like they're about to watch a show or something, and they're like, we got wine, because y'all know Denise, she be a mess. So I knew this night was gonna be so good between the three of them, and I love it. I love to see it. The little girls' night there. See, this is a real girls' night right here with the mamas, because y'all saw they got lit. I loved it. Every second of this entire girls' night, from the second her and Mama Laura sat down, I was obsessed. So next we go to Billy and D'Angelo, and they're having their drink, and y'all, they're actually pretty cordial with each other. They get to talking, and Billy basically is telling him, you should punch me in my face. Why haven't you punched me in my face? I punched you in your face. And D'Angelo is just trying to throw it out there that, you know, he's been working out all this time. He's not the same punk he used to be, and he could lift. So Billy wants to know how much, and it basically becomes battle of the muscles between the two of them. So What gets me though is that Billy is talking to him and he's surprised that he can actually bench press 215, and he's just like, wow, I'm just surprised for, you know, you being a regular dude. And the offense that D'Angelo took to him calling him a regular dude, and Billy trying to backtrack it to be like, oh no, it's just because, you know, I'm like a professional athlete and everything, which granted, he is a professional athlete, and we've heard many times before how badly Billy beat D'Angelo up and him going away to his old boarding school because of it and everything. So he didn't expect for him to actually be able to lift as much as he claimed. I just love the encounter that they had between the two of them once he saw that he could actually bench press 215, and then D'Angelo was just, now he's annoyed because Billy didn't call him a regular dude. So he's just like, well, let me see how much you can do. And at this point, they're not even drunk at this point, but they've had some drinks up in them. So the fact that, one, they're trying to do this without stretching, but then two, they're doing this while drinking, I can't with these guys. Now, Spencer and Frosto both do not want to be there. So when Spencer is basically just like, yo, let's just take a photo, tell Papa Billy that we done hung out together and everything, he won't know it's a photo, which, smart idea. But then it becomes a challenge now between Beverly against Crenshaw in a game of pool. I was like, ugh, this is about to be good, because we have Jordan and Asher, who are pretty much jokesters. So they're gonna bring, for, I feel like, some comedic relief at this point. And then Frosto, who's all uptight and in his feels, so he's cranky. And then Spencer, who he would want to be there if Frosto wasn't there, but because Frosto's there, he's equally annoyed as well. So I just know that this pool game was gonna make for some great entertainment. While we have this budding bromance happening between Billy and D'Angelo, now he done showed him up and he wants to go see D'Angelo's photo in the yearbook. I feel like, you know, it never crossed my mind the two of them actually getting along and having a friendship, but I feel like it makes for such a cool dynamic between the two of them, because you have Billy's kind of a jokester and chill, laid back and everything for the most part, and then D'Angelo, who's all uptight and everything, basically like an older version of Frosta. So just the two of them together, and for them to hopefully build a friendship, because I wouldn't mind seeing a friendship between the two of them, and this seems like the start of it. I'm here for it, because they seem like they'd get along pretty well if they actually gave each other a chance. Now we're back to Mama Grace and Mama Laura, and they're still watching their show of Denise and her date, and now they see that the date is up and leaving because it's Denise. What she done did now to get rid of this dude. So they're about to get out of there before she notices them, but it's too late, y'all. And this is where their night, I was just like, this night is gonna get so much better, because Denise, she be too much, but the three of them together, they need that little extra oomph and this little three-way budding friendship that they have going on here. Honestly, it was the adults for me this episode. The adults are what made this episode so much fun and just so happy and lighthearted, and I love it. Now back at the Baker household, we have Liv, Layla, and annoying Carrie, and they're basically just chatting about recovery, since they're all going through recovery and their prior issues. And then annoying Carrie with her big mouth, because clearly Layla has been talking. Like I said, she doesn't have very many people, so now she has this girl who wants her and needs her for something, so she feels like this is her person right now. So she's chatting it up and putting their business out there because Layla's been talking to her. So Liv is now upset because the whole purpose of this night was to work on their friendship and get back to how they used to be, if not better. And those things are issues that they've been working on. And for you to sit here and put it out there, not only does she know that she still feels some sort of way about it, but she's also been talking about it to someone else. She's known you how long? And you're the person that she's talking about it to. And the fact that you felt the need to put it out there right now in this setting, and then it made it also seem, which we know what it is too, you're only putting it out there because you feel like you know Layla in a different way than anyone else, and you feel this connection to her, this bond to her, and you just want to make it seem like you're closer to her than anyone else. Like, oh, she tells me all her secrets. I know how she really feels. Miss, you do not. So Liv girl, she was upset, rightfully so. And then she was just like, you know what, I can't even deal with this right now. So she goes to walk away. And then Layla, oh my goodness. Layla was just like, Carrie, I told you that in confidence. And she was just like, oh, I was just saying it as a compliment, you know. No, she was not. We know she wasn't. Hello, shady self. Oh, so annoying. And Layla over here looking all hurt because you went blabbing your mouth. You're gonna sit here and tell this girl something in confidence? That should have been just something you kept to yourself, or talk to Liv about it directly. So Denise has now made her way over to Mama Grace and Mama Laura, and she is so excited to see them, y'all. They're not that excited to see her. She was like, I'm so happy you guys called me over. You brought yourself over here. And they couldn't say no because that'd be rude. So she's telling them how her psychic told her she's gonna find the connection that she's looking for. We saw it didn't work out with her first date earlier in the night. But the night is still young and they have all this time ahead of them. But just looking at her with Mom Grace and Mama Laura, I was like, girl, this your connection right here. These two ladies right here. Them your people. Get them other dudes. They don't... Man, she be so thirsty. Like, girl, you need to just chill and relax. Just get you some good girlfriends and call it a day. And that's what she about to get right here, because the three of them together, it's gonna be great. Now Spencer and Frost are over here playing like trash because they're not on the same page and they're both going at it with each other when they're supposed to be teammates in this game of pool against Jordan and Asher. And Jordan and Asher, they're jokesters and they're taking this, you know, they're not putting too much on this. Like, yeah, they're playing for money, but they're more lighthearted about the situation and just playing around for the most part, because also they know that Frosto and Spencer are on the outs with each other, and the best way to get to them is to make these little sly remarks and these jokes and everything, which is what they're doing. Y'all see the way Spencer was over here mean mugging as he's holding onto his little pool stick? Homie was tight. Frosto, tight. They don't like each other. They're losing. And then they have these Beverly boys over here. That's what we're gonna call them. We know they have actual names, but you know, for Frosto's sake, we're gonna call them the Beverly boys. We have these Beverly boys over here who are basically showing them up and not only taking their money, but making jokes on them because of how they're playing. And that's sad. Whoever got the little boy to play young D'Angelo Carter for that yearbook photo, good job, because the accuracy of that photo to how he is now as an adult, I said, man, that actually looked like him. Did they actually get a younger photo of him and use it for this yearbook? But we find out that Billy's mom, Mrs. Baker, may she rest in peace, was actually D'Angelo's teacher at one point, and someone that he felt close to because she basically accepted him and helped him when he didn't have very many friends and he felt like an outsider in school. He would spend his lunch breaks with her, and she was actually the reason why he wanted to get into education in the first place. Which, that little story he was telling, I was like, you know, you continue to make me see a better side of you. Not very often, but every now and then I see a better side of you coming through. And this right here with him talking to Billy about his mom and not making any smart comments or anything, and it genuinely seeming like his relationship with her was something that was very important to him and something that he's held on to, it seems, for this entire time. And it's crazy also just with how crazy and grumpy he's been towards Billy, even knowing who his mom was and that relationship that he had with her back when he was in school. He didn't even care. He was like, that was your mama. I liked your mama. You, I do not like you. I was like, the way you could just split the two. But now he's starting to warm up a little bit more to Billy. So it was nice to see and to hear about his connection with Billy's mom and the fact that he told Billy that information. I was like, growth. So the ladies are scoping out the cafe to try to find a man for Denise. Y'all, the dude with the blonde hair and Denise was like, oh, if he just dyed his hair, for some reason he just makes me think of Powerline from Goofy Movie. That's all I saw when I looked at him. Even with the blonde hair, he reminded me of Powerline. So since Spencer and Frosto are still not feeling each other, they're still playing like trash, which is why Jordan and Asher are taking all their money. He ends up walking out because he's upset. He done lost his money. He done embarrassed himself in front of these Beverly boys, and he still don't like Spencer. So Jordan and Asher actually give some pretty decent advice to Spencer, which is Frosto is basically you and how you were when you first came to Beverly, and you wanted to prove yourself to everyone because you're someplace new. This is a new world. You want to show not only who you are, but who you could become. And that's exactly what Frosto is doing at this point in time. So you need to come some slack and see that you and him actually have a lot more in common, which is what he comes to realize. And then he goes out there and he talks to him, because we all knew he was going to, and lets him know, my dude, you know, we're on the same team here and we want the same thing. I'm Crenshaw all day, every day. And yes, these are my people up in here. Those are my brothers, which Frost was a little taken aback by. But at the end of the day, I'm all for Crenshaw and for us going forward with these games and winning championships and everything. And you're my teammate, so I care about you just as much as I care about them. So come back up in here so we can win our money back. And he was like, all right, yeah, because I can't go home broke because I need that money from my mama and my sister. And it was cool. Mama Grace and Mama Laura are basically looking at Denise through different eyes now, because, and so was I, once she let them know that she not only has her daughter, but she took in her sister's daughters once her sister passed away. And you know, Denise, she be so extra. She be doing too much. But she seems like she has a good heart, and I'll give her that. She seems like she's very honest and genuine, and with her, you get what you get. She doesn't try to sugarcoat anything or hide anything, and that's just who she is as a person, which is open and honest and very much out there, which can be too much at times. But her and wanting to find someone who not only accepts her, but accepts all three of her girls, that touched my little heart. I was like, Denise, I like you. Y'all, this episode was just an episode of discovery for both Billy and D'Angelo. So he finds out that Billy dated Grace, which, don't you have that same yearbook? Maybe he just doesn't like to look through it because of the bad memories of everything, you know? But the fact that he didn't know that Billy dated Grace. Then we find out that he was in the school band, and now he wants to show Billy basically something that he's good at. So I'm gonna show you that I still have those skills. Y'all, Carrie got some nerve. Okay, so she's telling Liv girl that her relationship with Layla is borderline toxic. Miss, she knew nothing about you before rehab, Layla. She met you in rehab. You're out now, and your parents are not contacting you. You haven't heard from them, liar. And you just showed up at her house, shady, up front, shady. And you're saying her relationship with Liv is toxic when she's over here spilling her guts to you, and you're still just this closed book? Ridiculous. And then she's talking about, oh, when I met her, she was broken and alone, and now she's back with the same friends that let it happen. These friends did not let that happen. That girl was already going through so much before these people. And then her mama died and her daddy was MIA. She was going through a lot. They tried to help her, which Liv told you, little hater. And she didn't want the help. And eventually she reached a breaking point to when she went back to them for help, and they helped her. And her daddy got up in a picture to help his baby girl out because she was struggling. And he realized that don't even try to come for them. I was like, yo, she wildin'. And then what gets me though is Liv is not even hiding the fact that she does not like this girl. She's not feeling her. She's just talking to her like, well, we would be able to work on our relationship if you weren't here. That's what tonight was supposed to be. Like, she does not care. But the fact that this Carrie girl is sitting here with a smirk on her face and talking so calm, like she knows that she's in with Layla, and she knows that she has Layla where she wants her and wrapped around her little finger. And yeah, I'm stealing your friend from you, and I'm using her, and I'm gonna get her to spill her guts to me, and she's gonna end all of her relationships with all of you because she doesn't need you. All she needs is me. That's what it seems like, y'all. She wants Layla for herself. I didn't even think about that. She wants to isolate Layla from everyone else around her so that way she can get her on her own and not have to deal with her parents, not have Layla deal with her parents, because, well, her dad, or her friends, because it could be them two against the world. That girl Carrie is crazy, y'all. That's exactly, yeah, she wants her for herself. Dang, and Layla don't see it. It's the smiles though for me where they're just like, let's just get through this evening for Layla. Okay, for Layla. And then behind both of them, they're just like, bitch. But they are plastering it on for Layla. So we have Spencer and Frosto, who are now playing good because they've worked through their issues and everything, talked it out. And then we have Jordan and Asher, who they're beginning to suck because they can no longer make jokes on them, and they're actually putting up a good game against them. But at the same time, y'all, I've been waiting to see if we were gonna get some vocals at some point from Papa Billy, Tay, and we did. So D'Angelo is over here, you know, playing the keys. He alright. But then we had Papa Billy come through with the vocals. My man's. And he was feeling that at that point too, because he done had him some drinks. He felt a little tipsy. He was like, yeah, let me just belt it all out here. Oh my guy. And then D'Angelo's just looking the whole time because, wait, you play football, you dated Grace, and you sing? Really, my guy? And then went and punched him in the face because y'all know he was waiting for that. He was waiting. This was the breaking point for him. He was like, nah, this is too much right here. I can't take this. Knocked him out. My man Billy, well, he ain't knock him out. My man Billy, he was just like, oh, because, you know, he was able to stand on his feet still. You ain't knock him out like he was over there knocking you out. Layla girl's all apologetic because, you know, she done been spilling her heart out to this Carrie girl, and she feels bad because it hurt Liv in a way. Layla, alright. I'm happy that she's no longer angry all the time. It seems like she's lost control of her life and she's taking guidance from this Carrie girl, which I'm not feeling. And Carrie comes out, she's just like, you know, I'm not feeling well. Yeah, you're not feeling well. You're doing too much. Time to go. She's like, oh, no, I called an Uber. I'm gonna leave. I was like, yup. She's like, because it was supposed to be girls' night between the two of you. It was. You were not supposed to be there, and you knew you weren't supposed to be there too, and you still showed up anyway. She should have said something, but she's not a real friend. We know that. That's why she ain't say nothing, and then gonna pop up. And now Liv then put her in her place, and she gotta get up out of there because this is Liv's house. So dip. I was like, man. And Layla, like I said, she kind of punking out right now. She was just like, oh, I can take you. Girl, this supposed to be your girls' night with Liv. She just said she gotta go. She ain't feeling too well. Let her go sleep it off. She'll be alright. Y'all, I think the funniest part of this entire episode, though, was Spencer psyching out Asher when they're standing outside with the cups on their head, and when he's just like, because he got a concussion, so he might be seeing double. Who knows? That whole entire interaction of him with his little side comments to Asher, and Asher just looking so spooked and scared out of his mind now because he doesn't trust Jordan anymore to make the shot. And then at the end when Spencer just stands there completely still while Frosto throws, and then this kid Asher ducks and Jordan's just like, Asher! Then we get some more bonding between Billy and D'Angelo, and they're chill even after he done knocked Billy up in the face. They over here sitting and talking, you know, about relationships for the most part. And Billy is telling him, because D'Angelo wants to know, is there something like anything you're not good at? And Billy is telling him marriage, because we know him and Mama Laura, they haven't been together for a while and they're still trying to work on their relationship and getting their family to how it used to be and everything. It's been a slow process. And then we get on the topic of Mama Grace, and D'Angelo, he's into her. And Billy knows he's into her too. So he's just like, ask her out, you know, shoot her a text. So he goes to text her. And the fact that Billy was just like, no, and takes his phone because D'Angelo was about to send her a poem to start the initial process of asking her out on a date. But I like the relationship, and it just seems like they're getting to know the real person and just to learn more about each other, because they could actually be great friends if they got past all of their issues and got to know who each other really was beneath the surface, and I'm here for that. I like it because D'Angelo's starting to grow on me a little bit, and Papa Billy, he's been taking the right steps over the last season. So I'm here for this friendship that I see. The three of them drinking straight from the bottles up in the car, I was like, yep, they're done. They're gone. And she ends up getting the text from D'Angelo. We know who. And she ends up getting the text from D'Angelo, which just says, sup. And they're all surprised, like, oh my gosh, that's D'Angelo Carter hitting you up, girl. You need to go after him, because we know she's feeling D'Angelo as well. But it's Mama Grace, and we know she don't really like doing things for herself. She cares about her kids, which she should, and she always wants to make sure they're good first. But right now, girl, your kids are good and they're getting grown, so you can go after something that you want for yourself. And at the same time, they're also talking to Mama Laura about Papa Billy, because girl, what's happening with that relationship right here? Y'all still want each other? You still want him? And then she's just like, I love him because that was her man. That's her baby daddy, love of her life. And she knows she still loves him. So it's only a matter of time, I can barely wink, before she gets back with her man, because they both want each other still. Y'all, they tried. They really tried. They're having their little girls' night and trying to laugh about everything, but you can tell it's a little off because of how the night has already gone. Layla seems a little off without Carrie being there now, because we see she was so quick to be like, oh, maybe I should go. I shouldn't let her go home by herself, because Liv is trying to tell her she feels something's not right with this girl. I think something's a little off. And Layla only sees it as, why? Because she was in a rehab facility, because I was there too. Liv went to rehab too. No, that's not the reason why. Something else is off about this girl. She crazy, girl, and you don't see it. And Liv is trying to tell you, not because she doesn't want you to have a friend outside of her, but she wants to make sure her friend, you, are actually good. And right now, this girl is seeming quite odd. So you gotta do something about that. And Layla's just like, I should go because, she's just a loner and she doesn't have anyone and she just needed a friend. This girl over here describing herself, and that's also why she's just not seeing the signs or anything. Look through her phone, Layla. Try to find her mama on your own. Talk to her mama. Try to be a good friend and get her and her mama talking again, and you're gonna find out some stuff, because Carrie keeping things from you, girl, just so she could live up in your house. On the upside though, Spencer and Frosto are on better terms, because they not only took money from Jordan and Asher, but they were able to work through their issues. So we're gonna see a better side of Frosto from here on out, y'all. I better, because he actually seemed like he would be a good friend for Spencer, especially since Darnell he gone. But he needs more friends right now, especially in Crenshaw, because he doesn't have very many. So him and Frosto, if they could get good. Y'all, I actually didn't want it to end with Billy and D'Angelo up in the school, but it did. They had to go. Billy was like, please don't let it out that, what I basically did up in there. And D'Angelo, he ain't trying to tell nobody. Like he said, what he look like telling somebody yet another thing that you're good at that's gonna make you look good. D'Angelo, his little tipsy self, he all hurt a little bit because Mama Grace apparently hadn't texted him back yet, and as they're walking through the hall, he finally receives a text from her, which he's so excited about. And Billy is equally as excited for him that he done got a text back. So now he whips out his phone. I was like, I know he about to text Mama Laura. This girl, Mama Grace, came in so done, and the fact that Spencer was sitting here trying to act like somebody's dad. Mom, where have you been? Dylan and I have been worried. We've been waiting for you. You could have called or something. And she ain't hear a word he said. She went, took her little shoes off and passed out. I was like, she had a great night. They all had a great night. Her, Mama Laura, and Denise, Papa Billy, and D'Angelo. Great night. This is one of the best nights of their lives. My girl Liv is seeing the signs, y'all. And she trying to tell Jordan about it. But Jordan, he don't really see it because, one, he hasn't met Carrie. And two, He a dude. He don't get it like she do. She's worried about her girlfriend. She's like, have you met her? Something seems off. And Layla, she don't see it. But she not trying to. And he don't see it either. And he should care a little bit more too. Especially because Layla. So we're going to see how this whole Layla story plays out, because my girl Liv, I know she's not going to just let it go here. She's going to do some more digging. And she's going to find out about Carrie. She's going to be the one to contact Carrie mama. It's going to be Liv. And then they hear a knock right downstairs. And they come down, and Mama Laura done started bumping into furniture because we know she has wasted as Mama Grace. But when they go up and Papa Billy is up in the house, okay, pause, stop, right here. Y'all, he sat here and took his phone, D'Angelo's phone, and texted Mama Grace, sup. But I knew he was feeling that poem, because he done took the poem and texted to Mama Laura. She over here thinking this was his own doing. Nah, girl, he done stole that. I was like, this man done took this dude's pickup and used it for his own woman. I was like, man, honestly, it got them back together, so I'm all for it. And we can only go up from here, y'all. It's kind of early for a Friendsgiving, right? I don't know. But the only one I heard of is the one for Thanksgiving. It's kind of early for Thanksgiving. We're in the middle of 2021. But next week, y'all, they're having their Friendsgiving. And it looks like everyone is about to show up to this party. So we know that's why they gave us this week here. Such a nice, lighthearted, chill episode. Because next week, about to be drama. Drama. We're going to have Liv girl with this Carrie girl. Because it looks like Carrie going to show up to this Friendsgiving. She ain't nobody friend. She's Layla's friend. But she ain't nobody else, friend. Why is she there? And then we're going to have Coop and Spencer. And we know we're going to be touching on their friendship next week. Oh my goodness. Hopefully they find their way back to each other. And Simone. Simone been MIA for a while now, y'all. And I know, I feel it. She not about to go through with this wedding. She don't want it no more. She got to be out soon. So this is probably going to be the start of that. We're going to see. But Patience girl's hair, the blowout, it's like something from like Grease time, like the 70s. Was Grease out in the 70s? I don't even know. But it's like around that time from Grease with the nice, thick, blown out curls. So gorgeous. So nice. But we're going to see. It looks so good. I can't wait. And I'll see you all next time.